Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Poray, a sports and family chiropractor in Brooklyn, Ontario. Today I want to talk a little bit about an extremely common problem that I see in my office quite often. That problem is lateral epicondylitis, commonly known as tennis elbow. Although tennis and other racket sport players very often suffer from this, it should be probably more properly called carpenter's elbow because more carpentry tradesmen get it than do tennis players. I'll get back to that part in a moment. But first, how does this condition occur? To understand that, you need to understand what it is. The lateral epicondyle is the outer bony point on the elbow. To it are attached all the extensor muscles of the wrist and the fingers. If you wiggle your fingers or your wrist, you will see the action of the muscles at the elbow. Because of the angle of the muscle attachment, you can also see that the muscles rotate the wrist outward. Epicondylitis simply means inflammation of the epicondyle. This can occur in one of two ways, either by acute trauma, like banging your elbow into something hard, or by overuse, as in repeatedly extending or externally rotating the wrist. This results in the inflammation, which then becomes progressively entrenched by repeated use. If you keyboard a lot, if you use a hammer or a screwdriver in your work, you will probably aggravate these problems. If you need to grip oversized objects or heavy objects like briefcases, you can irritate it. If you sleep with your arm out over the side of your bed, you can also worsen it. Now, how can you recognize that it is tennis elbow? First of all, you need to localize the pain. Find that bony prominence on the outside of the elbow. Feel it with your thumb or your forefinger. Is that point tender? Move your finger down the tendon half an inch and repeat that. Is that tender? Now place your palm over the same area and compare it with the opposite elbow. Is it warmer? Now make a fist, and with the affected hand, and try to extend the wrist while resisting with the opposite hand. Is that painful? Does it hurt to open a door, to grab a coffee cup, or to hold a carton of juice? If the answer is yes, then you probably do have tennis elbow. By the way, the same problem on the inner elbow is called golfer's elbow, but I'll talk about that in another session. Now that you've determined the problem, what can you do about it? In general, the longer this problem has been there, the longer it takes to get rid of. It can take up to a year, depending on whether you stop the cause and then treat it regularly and properly. Your medical doctor will probably recommend some sort of anti-inflammatory medications, either in pill form or as a cortisone injection. If you're an elite athlete, you know that corticosteroid injections are a no-no. Your physiotherapist may use ultrasound, laser, kinesiotape, interferential current, or shockwave therapy. Acupuncture and massage therapy can also be used very effectively. To these, your sports chiropractor may add peripheral joint manipulation, cervical spine and shoulder adjustments, deep tendon massage, and or a tennis elbow brace. Now, it's extremely important that you do your part in all this, or the problem will persist. Stick to the plan that's recommended to you. Ice the area daily for 15 to 20 minutes. I usually recommend the use of an ice cup. What's an ice cup? Take a styrofoam coffee cup and fill it to the top with water and stick it in the freezer. Once it is frozen, remove half an inch of the styrofoam from the top of the cup, exposing some of the ice. Now, holding the styrofoam cup portion, massage the area over the pain for the recommended period of time, and then stick your high-tech cryotherapy unit back into the freezer for the next time. If you can, you have to stop the activity that's causing the problem. If you cannot, then a tennis elbow sleeve may be of some help. The idea of this brace is to decrease some of the stress at the elbow by moving the stress point down the muscle a bit. This brace must be worn below the elbow with the pad over the tendon. Once the pain and inflammation have subsided, then you can start doing some stretches every day, 2 to 3 times. The reverse prayer position is a stretch that is held for 20 to 30 seconds. To maintain muscle balance, stretch the opposite side with a prayer stretch as well. If this doesn't cause any return of the symptoms, then you also need to strengthen the muscles with isolated wrist curls and reverse curls. So that is a wrist curl and a reverse wrist curl. And you can place your arm on a tabletop or a chair top in order to isolate that muscle. I hope this information is helpful, but remember that to really speed up the process, you need to see your sports clinician to help you determine the causes and add therapies that you don't have at home. These are all available at the Brooklyn Family Health Center in North Whitby. I want to thank you very much for listening. I'm Dr. Mark Poray, and you can get more information about other conditions at my website at www.drporay.com, or make an appointment to see me by calling 905-655-5767, or you can send your questions to me at drporay@gmail.com, and I'll try to answer them in some future video. Thanks very much for your time.